wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, finally, finally. I wanna be free. Finally, finally, finally. I wanna be free. Finally, finally, finally. I wanna be free.
Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the Real ZB. So I've been getting some questions on what exactly I do within the banking space, and also just questions around jobs that CAs can do within the bank. So I am going to be speaking about that today. I'm just going to give you some of the most common jobs that CAs are doing within the banking space. I feel like I need to preface the fact that it's not just limited to CAs that can do these jobs, but also other financial professionals are able to do these jobs. But the question was, what do CAs do at the bank? And the answer is very broad, and there are various roles that you can take up, but I am just going to speak basically to maybe the core ones or the core finance ones that you can be able to do. All right, so first of all, you are able to go into investment banking. Now again, investment banking can be broken up into a whole host of different functions and different jobs. You can break it up, I can say, into sort of like your sales and your trading side, and then you can also break it up further into your mergers and acquisitions. So on sort of the sales and trading side, this is where you are going to help individuals or your clients, what have you, to buy securities, and you're sort of going to broker that sale. And on the trading side, you will be the one who is then going to execute that sale, and you're always going to try to get your respective clients the best price for those securities. Okay? And then also within the investment banking space, you can take up sort of like an equity research kind of a role. This is going to involve you taking a deep dive, researching various industries, doing a huge deep dive into economies, a deep dive to various businesses within certain economies and within certain industries. And then you're going to take these reports and you are going to sell them to companies. I know some people in this space in other countries do this function, and they sell it to their various governments. So yeah, it's as the name suggests, you're going to be doing a large part of your job will be acquiring research and drafting reports that are going to help the companies that you're going to sell these reports to. And then still in the investment banking space, you have your asset managers. So basically what's involved in asset management is where you are helping institutions gain access to a variety of financial instruments, and through that they help these institutions reach their various financial goals. And then again, like I said, there is also within the investment banking space the mergers and acquisitions. So this is where you would identify opportunity for your clients or your customers to be able to acquire or to be able to amalgamate with other companies in order to meet their strategic goals. So all in all, your investment banking space is all about helping your clients raise money in the capital markets through either lending or through equity or through purchasing securities and all of that stuff. And it's also to facilitate and advise on these transactions, including mergers and acquisitions or what have you. So as an investment banker, you need to be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together to make a big picture. So you know what is happening in the market. You also know what is happening in your clients' various businesses. You know it well enough to be able to identify opportunities and act on opportunities timelessly so that you can create the most value for your client. And then secondly, you have commercial banking. So this is actually where I sit. So in the commercial banking space, we work mainly with businesses. So these are our clients, and we help our clients gain access to credit products as well as offer financial advice to them to help them grow their business. And a large part of being able to be successful in a commercial banking job is being able to look after the relationships within your portfolio. So human skills are of utmost importance. It's important to network. It's important to be able to deal with conflict. It's important to be able to manage the stress levels of your clients at all times. So yeah, that's basically a very, very, very summarized version of what happens in the commercial banking space. Again, it can be broken down into so many different pieces, but basically it's to facilitate or help our clients gain access to lending so that they can be able to structure their business or expand their business or grow their business. And you sort of like take care of all the financial needs of that company so that they can continue running their business. Okay. Also here, it's very important to know what is happening on both sides. You need to know what is happening in the business. You also need to know how to read and interpret financial statements. You need to know what you're looking for. You need to know basically how to evaluate which products are going to be most suitable for your clients using the knowledge of the business and using the financial statements and the cash flows, and just being able to assist them seamlessly through that process. And then thirdly, within the banking space, you can go into private equity. So basically this involves acquiring 100% of companies, using debt to finance those purchases in order to get the biggest kind of returns. So that's basically the long and the short of what happens in the private equity space. And then you can also go into private wealth or private wealth management. So this is helping wealthy individuals be able to manage their portfolio. So here you need to understand what your risk profile of your client is. Are they risk averse? Do they like taking risk? And this is going to guide you when you're trying to figure out what products or securities these clients should be invested in. And it's also about obviously relationship with the client. The more you have a deep relationship with the client, the more you can be able to assist them, because you'll be able to identify nuances in things that you might not have identified if your relationship was surface level. So you continuously need to be in contact with the clients, bring in new clients as well. And it's also a very network heavy kind of a position. So if you are not interested in networking with people, if you're not interested in building relationships with people, and you just want to be behind a computer and doing your work, then probably this one is not for you. Next up is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, aspect within the banking/financing space, and that is venture capital. Listen, venture capital, I think, has always been like the goal for me. Like, I've always been interested in venture capital, and I think it's because, when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of Dragon's Den. I used to watch Shark Tank, and I used to watch. There was also a series that was on Apple Music. I forgot what it's called, but it had this sort of same concept where you had a team of mentors or venture capitalists, and then you had these young startups that were pitching their ideas, and based on that, they would either invest or not invest or partially invest or whatever. So basically, in the venture capital space, as a venture capitalist, you would invest in startups in its initial phases. So you would get a minority shareholding of that startup company, with the hopes that one day it will boom or even become listed, so that you can be able to realize a gain in your investment. So you'll be able to sell that investment, or your investment will have grown by the time that you IPO that company. So it's exciting stuff, especially in the tech space. Oh, it's super exciting. It's super high risk, but it's so exciting. And the sad thing about it is that it's a very difficult field to get into. It's very, very lucrative. It's one of the most lucrative fields within the banking/financing space. I'll speak about, earning potential closer to the end of this video, but it's one of the ones that are up there when it comes to earning capabilities. But it's so difficult to get into, and it's kind of tricky. It's a tricky game, and you need to be highly specialized and an expert by the time you get into the VC space. But it's I find it so interesting. It's not even funny. It's so interesting. It's so scary. It's so anyways, let's move on to the next one. So the last one that did I write? Yes, I did. So the last one that I want to speak about is hedge funds. So I know you guys hear a lot about hedge funds, and you probably don't know what goes into, the hedge fund space, or what is it. But basically what a hedge fund does, they invest massive capital into different companies, and they use a whole range of strategies. So one of the strategies is long short. Some are like a pure long or a short, or all of those things that you learn about in finance, derivatives and everything. This is where they come in. So the hedge fund will look at different strategies in how they can be able to invest these large amounts of money into different companies and commodities, and it gets super technical. Trust me, it gets super technical, but like, I'm trying to explain it as simply as I can, to say that it's basically investing a large amount of money, like large capital sums, using a wide range of strategies, right? And they use the strategies to hedge against the risk. So it means that they sort of drawing a fence around themselves, so that they don't lose a lot of money, but can be able to gain a lot of money, if that makes sense. So when it comes to earning potential, I'm gonna just speak about my top 3, because I know, guys, one thing about my subscribers, you guys love money, and valid, money makes the world go round, and child, we're in a recession. So if your sole purpose of getting into these careers is for the earning capabilities, valid. Okay, so I'm sort of gonna rank them just 1 to 3. Okay, so firstly, if you want to be making the most bucks, okay, then you should go into hedge funding. But hedge funding is not that easy to get into as well, okay? You have to, I think, in order to, succeed in that space, you have to spend some time in sort of like the investment banking space, especially when it comes to like sales and trading and all of that stuff. before you can move into, you know, your hedge fund space. So yeah, hedge funding, I'd say, will provide you the most money. You will be wealthy. The second one, I would say investment banking, especially within mergers and acquisitions, but you can make a huge amount of money as well within the other aspects of investment banking. And then I think tied for third place, I think I'd replace investment banking with venture capitalist as second place. Venture capital would be second to hedge funds, and then third place, I would say investment banking and private equity would be tied for third place. So those are the top three fields. If you want to be earning like enormous amounts of money that I can't even explain, then those are the fields that you should look into pursuing. Like I said, these jobs are not ring fenced to purely chartered accountants. So click here if you want to see some alternative professional bodies to the CASA, and I'll see you next week for another video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.